Small and medium-sized Hong Kong marketing services companies are making an increasing impact on mainland China. Timothy Pearson Smith arrived in Hong Kong in 1990, at a time when Hong Kong was embarking on its biggest infrastructure project of the decade, the new airport at Chek Lap Kok. Tim was involved in numerous aspects of environmental planning and strategy. It's been a road that's led him to become a strategic advisor on many of Hong Kong's largest infrastructure projects throughout the 1990s, to a millennium focus on public relations and consultation for the Hong Kong Disneyland project. And then he set up a niche marketing communications consultancy, Executive Council, specializing in brand building, lobbying, and government relations. Tim's Hong Kong experience has put his company on the launchpad for the Chinese mainland market. Tim Pearson Smith joins us here in his Hong Kong office. Thanks very much for joining us on tdctrade.com. Now, we're talking about Disney, and of course Disneyland opens in Hong Kong in September 2005. But you were also involved in Disney, I think, back in the 1990s. And how did you become involved in this project?
Oh, thanks for asking. Government decided that they would develop the Lantau Island, where the new airport is located, into a recreational hub. And I was involved in getting buy-in from all the different parts of the community, from the Legislative Council, from the District Council, the Green Groups, and the wider community. So government was wanting to ensure acceptability, they were wanting to ensure a great site, well connected in terms of its infrastructure, in order to cater for the millions of people that would come into the site every year.
And talking about Chek Lap Kok, that's one of the biggest projects that Hong Kong has ever faced, and one that you faced when you first arrived here from the UK. What did you think of it when you first got started on that?
It was a very big change. I think in the UK, infrastructure projects take quite a long time from being studied to being implemented. Sometimes 10 years, sometimes as much as 20 years. In Hong Kong, I came out in 1990 and was involved in strategic studies for the airport. 18 months later, it was being built. Radically different. Really one of the reasons for Hong Kong's spectacular success.
Tim, how would you characterize these very large projects that you've been involved in since coming to Hong Kong?
I think Hong Kong basically brings the best of the world in terms of engineers, project managers, and with such a talented team, projects get implemented. They're run very tightly and very smoothly. The costs are managed, the timing and the programming are done extremely tightly, and they all fit together and come together in a very effective manner. So very great ability for Hong Kong to attract the world's best, basically. And you look at the airport, it's now voted as one of the best airports in the world.
Now, you started your company, Executive Council, in 2003, just when SARS was beginning. Was that a brave move?
No one knew that SARS was going to come, and I think the first we knew of it in Hong Kong were people were boiling vinegar as a cure for SARS in China. As it transpired, I set up the business early in 2003. Having been here for 15 years, I had many contacts, and as soon as those people knew that I'd set up on my own, they were extremely supportive. And within a few months, I had my first client, and thereafter, the business has just grown and grown and grown. We have about 15 clients now.
You have a large number of clients, but you're a small company. Is there a question of scale there that you have to get over?
You're right. I have 5 people working for me in Hong Kong, a very small company. 85% of Hong Kong's business is a small and medium size, so I feel quite at home in that. I'm extremely well supported throughout China and throughout the region by a network of companies, often similar to size companies, that I can work with and that I can trust. So I'm very well supported regionally and into China in that mechanism.
You're involved in public affairs, brand building, and government relations. Are these packaged in a certain way, or do you find that they're very separate?
It really depends on what an individual client needs. If it's brand building, we have often smaller companies that I support, Hong Kong, good, well-established, thriving Hong Kong companies that need to differentiate themselves from their clients. On the public affairs and government relations, that's generally multinational companies and the larger conglomerates, big Hong Kong conglomerates. So it sort of falls between those two different things. In terms of really what individuals need, it just depends on the nature of the companies. I work quite a lot on the construction side, on the environmental side. I work for banks, lawyers, accountants. So it really depends very much on the individual needs of each client.
With all these various tasks that you undertake, do you find that they're exportable, particularly to mainland China?
Extremely, yes. Again, the interesting thing, I suppose, maybe mimicking Hong Kong, is China is attracting a huge amount of international interest. They've got a lot of hindsight that they can draw upon. Hong Kong's expertise is certainly of great value. And they are doing things in quite a Hong Kong way. They are attracting the best talent in the world. And so a company like mine, which can provide public affairs support, assisting in terms of relationships with government, brand building, is extremely in demand. And at the moment I'm spending about 5 days a month in Beijing and 2 or 3 days a month in Guangdong. So it's extremely exportable, and in China I have a great network of support in order for me as a small company to provide support for larger companies in China.